Okay. Be careful. You're gonna answer. Okay, we start for today where we left yesterday, and we have been doing some sums illustration on failure, right? Have we done this one? I forgot.
Yes.
We
have done.
did this one, right? Here, only thing I just want you to note is that the probability of failure means what? Conceptually. Probability is always one total, right? So out of one, you can say that 20% of it, this one, 20% of occurrence in which is of 1 month. The elapsed time after maintenance attention. That means some maintenance has been done, and like this, some maintenance has been done. These are the same maintenance. So between this one, if it is 1 month, that type of occurrence is for the whole period is about 0.2 probability. Means if you add up all this, it will become 1. Just I am trying to give class 10 knowledge. Remembering. So that means 20% occurrence is possible, predictable, or it has happened in the probability that it may happen when the thing is of 1 month. In between time is 2 months, that type of probability is 15%. So that is the interpretation. So when we add all them, we should get 1 if the whole information is given. So that will be always 1. And here they have 20 machines. The failure pattern has been predicted, and they are asking to find out the cost. If 150 rupees per machine, compute the yearly cost of serving the broke down machine. So there we are coming that expected time before failure. The expected time before failure, what they are doing, they are multiplying the frequency. They are multiplying the frequency with the probability. And that is the time before failure. That means 3.5 months in a year. This is the time before failure, that is the operation time. So therefore the number of repair, that means this is the time of 3.5 months. They are getting average out of this frequency, out of all these 6 in a year. So the number of repair per annum will be 12 months and 3.5. That is why we divided it. And we found out the number of times. And when we multiply that with the cost and the time, number of machines, we get the total value. So just I wanted to recapitulate, and I want you to consider this, because slowly we will be going into the depth of it. And that time we will take help of some formula. Okay. And that formula, where from it has come, if we go into that, it will take again a non-big conceptual, but I will give you some idea how you can memorize or how you can use it. Okay. Now, let us take up this one. The public transport system is experiencing following number of breakdown for months over past 2 years. For last 2 years, if you add up this, 10 plus 2, 8 plus 3 plus 1. So this is 12 months. They are getting, the public transport system is experiencing this. This is their past record. Each breakdown costs this much. Now for a cost of 1500 rupees per month, they can have a preventive maintenance. But every time they have a one-time breakdown, they will have to spend 2800 on an average per breakdown repair. And for preventive, 1500 rupees per month. Now, they are trying to find out which policy is suitable for the farm. What they are trying, this is number of breakdown. That means again, when we take this, no breakdown, that type of 2 months we can find out in total 12 years, 12 months. What does it indicate? When I make a chart of every month, say, number 1, 2, 3, 4, April, May, June, July, like that, and we start counting the number of breakdown in that month. So like that, 0 has appeared somewhere. This is the interpretation, and 1 has appeared in 8 places. That is why single breakdown in 8 places. Correct? So thereby, there are 10 places where only 2 has happened. Like that, this frequency is given. Conceptually, if you understood how they have got this. Now, converting these frequencies, that is, these are the number of breakdown, because there are 4, and frequency in months, that has been done, which is of 2 years. And then we are trying to find out the probability, that factor, which in the earlier illustration it was given. Here we are trying to find out the probability. How the probability is found out? Any idea probability? Any remembrance? Okay, forget it. So that means, just think about a card. Don't coin and dice, I will not go. I'll just think about a card. A pack of cards. How many cards are there? 52. So 52 cards are there. And how many gulam or ace or 5 or 10, whatever you say, any color, there are only 4. So this will be my probability of finding 1 at a time. If I want to find 2 at a time, then another division of 2 will come. Simple. So that is what we did, is that it has these many frequencies, and the probability has been found out how 0.83 is coming. Just to divide this, 24 divided by 2 will be 12. That is summation this and frequency, f divided by this one. How much it comes? 2 by 24. That means 1 by 12. That means if you do it on calculator, it will come 0.083. Thereby, what will happen when all are found out? The total will be 1. Clear? So we have found out the frequency. Now the expected number of breakdown will be how much? P into X. This P and X. What will happen? P into X, we are multiplying Y, because this is the probability. Like in the earlier sum, we did the probability and the event multiplied, we are getting this one. So the total of it, that is summation of Px, is the total number expected breakdown in a month. Number of breakdown expected in a month. Once we know that, so I wanted you to remember this, how it has been done, and then P into X. This is important. Correct? We will be doing this type of illustration. There are a lot of illustration in your book. We will be doing that. Expected breakdown cost then is very easy. The expected breakdown cost per this one 2800 is in a month you will be spending 4788 rupees. But when you do your preventive maintenance with a limit, that if I do the preventive maintenance, the limit will be 1 per month. The limit has been given. So one is one is taking 2800 and 1500 is my preventive maintenance cost per month. So when we add up, it is 4300. So 4300 is definitely less than 4788. So my preventive maintenance is better. Got it? How we got this? Any confusion? Here it is written that each breakdown cost 2800. So we have found out how much breakdown per month expected. That is at average, and we found out the total cost for the breakdown maintenance. That means when the machine fails, I repair it. And when I go for preventive maintenance, I pay to that firm who comes and does the preventive maintenance is 1500 rupees per month with a commitment that they will be allowing limiting the breakdown to be 1 per month. So per month that money I have to spend 2800 and 1500 I have to pay them, and then that is this one. Now in practical cases, definitely in the practical case in the field, this 2800 will not be 2800, it will be less because you are doing some preventive maintenance, so it will not be a total breakdown, right? But for the purpose of sum, this has been considered. Clear? Now we are going much deeper, slowly. This is also easy. This is also easy. Okay. Now in this sum, let us read. In a manufacturer manufacturing a TV set and carries out picture tube testing for 2000 hours. They carry out picture tube testing for 2000 hours. Okay. A sample of 100 tubes were put through this quality test, and out of which 2 tubes that have failed. Out of 100, 2 tubes have failed. If the average usage of TV by the customer is 4 hours a day and 10,000 TV sets are sold, then in 1 year, how much he is selling? 10,000? Here one point is missing. 10,000 per year or what? We'll consider it to be 10,000 per year. Then in 1 year, how many tubes are expected to fail? And what is the mean time between the failure? Now what is mean time between the failure? We have not touched that. Mean time between failure. There is one more, mean time between repair. These are the abbreviation used in the industry. What is mean time between failure? Say when I do some analysis and I collect the data, or rather if I represent it in this way, this is a particular period of time and some failure has happened, something like this failure has happened over a period of say 0 to 2 years. At certain point, these failures have happened. Now, what is the mean time between failure? So we'll have to see that what is the time. Say this is x1, this is x2, this is x3. The time between the failure, and then it will be just arithmetical average. That is x1 plus x2 plus x3. Sorry, x3 divided by, that is the mean time. Simple, arithmetic average. Similarly, mean time between repair. So this is failure. If they have done some repairing, definitely failure होने से repair करेगा नहीं भी कर सकता है. But if some repairing has been done for which cost has been incurred, so those, if these are repairs, the same thing is applied. Only the name is different. Clear? Now, what they have been doing, they are producing picture tube and carries out the picture tube testing for 100 hours. A sample of 100 tubes were put for testing and it was found that 2 tubes out of that has failed. And in the market, when they are selling 10,000 cubic and a usage of that picture tube is 4 hours a day, then in 1 year, how many tubes are expected to fail? That is to be found out. Why? Because those many TV he has to resell or replace, or he has to produce more for replacement. So that is his problem. Now total test time for 100 tubes is this into 20. Because the picture tube testing is for 2000 hours. 100 tubes they have tested. So this is the total tube hours has been put for the testing. There are 2 tubes which have failed. 100 में 2 tube fail किया. And hence the total time is to be adjusted for the number of hours lost due to the failure during the testing. Why? During the testing, I have this much tube hours for 100. Now 2 tubes have failed. Now these 2 tubes has also consumed 2000 hours. Right? 2000 plus 2000. It has consumed, but ultimately it has failed. So like that, we have to have an assumption, this 2000 divided by 2, this figure you know, that the total testing time is considered to be half by the time it has failed. It might have taken full 1999 hours and then failed, it might be, or it might have failed even after 1 hour also. But for the purpose of industrial and use of the calculation, generally it is taken as half of the time, test time, standard time, it has consumed. So how many hours he has consumed? 2 tubes. This is coming from the number. You can put it in your book. This 2 is coming from the number, and this 2 is coming from the half of the life of testing. That gives you 2000 hours has been lost. So now, this they have written. You have to give this assumption. Assumption is made that each of the failed tube have lasted an average of half of the test period, means 1000 hours. That is what this one is. Okay. So the test shows that there are 2 failures during this. So then, ये जो 2 लाख tube hours आया था, उसमें से हम ये hours को घटा देते हैं. So it has been this much tube hours of testing has been done. So during 365 days in a year, for 4 hours a day, for 10,000 tubes when it has gone to the market. So the number of expected failure will be how much? 2 per those 100 divided by this one, because out of this many hours 2 has failed. So now this has gone for 10,000 and 365 days 4 hours a day. So it is 147.47 or 148 tubes, because it cannot be divided. Approximately for 1 year this many tubes can fail. Clear? Simple. What do you need? Let us stop here. What we did, we found out what is the total testing hours. Then whatever the tube has failed, those many tube hours we have found out by assuming that it is half, it has failed, and that we have deducted, and we found out the actual tube hours for the testing, for which he has passed. And then for the whole year, what is the tube hours will be? That is 10,000 tubes, 365 days and 4 hours a day. So total tube hours we have found, and then we can very well calculate how many that divided by this will be those many 147 point something, which is 148 tubes. And the mean time between the failure, out of this testing time that ये निकाल लेने का बाद में जो रहा, 2 failures has happened. So the mean time failure is this much tubes per hour is the failure. So then again you divide it into days and the year, because per day 4 hours a day, and 365 days in a year, and then this many years is the failure, mean failure per year. Clear? देखो समझ में आया? Everybody okay? Good. Onco calculation is easy, but the concept, if you want, you can just write the concept slowly, otherwise you will forget. But anyway, this recording will be there, so you can refer back. Now this one. This is also a very nice sum on maintenance. A company has 50 identical machines. Okay? The cost of preventive servicing, that is preventive maintenance, is 20 rupees, and the cost of repair after breakdown is 100 rupees per machine, obviously. Okay? They have not said it is per machine or not, but 20 rupees and 100 rupees per machine. One is preventive and one is breakdown. The company says the minimum cost for preventive servicing frequency. What should be my frequency? In the one sum, what we have done? We have found out the frequency. Frequency was given, what was the cost? Now he wants to find out what should be the frequency so that the cost will be minimum, and has collected the data on breakdown probabilities in the following table. Let us see. Months after servicing that breakdown occurred, that has 10%. Now we know this. Could you follow? You were there that time when I was telling about the probability. Okay. Probability will always be 1. And this is, you can consider to be a percent. Like 4 cards of ace can be there in a pack of 52 cards. So this is the probability of finding 1 ace of any card. That is the probability. Now here, this is the probability they have given, and they want us to find out this. Now here what they have done, what is this? The frequency and the probability has been multiplied here and kept it here. Now what does it indicate? If I total it up, this is the total. It is the total is average, monthly or yearly or periodically, this many expected time. Right? Just in the earlier sum we have done it. Though they have not said anything here. Okay? Now, let us do. You may have to help me with this. Okay, it is given there. Now you see, it is written there. The mean time before failure is 5.4 months. That we have found out. Right? And the expected cost with no preventive maintenance then will be 100 rupees into 50 machine and 5.4 times. So it will be this much per month. Okay? How? 50 is my number of machines and 5.4 months will be my time between the failure. So how many times my machine will fail? This divided by 5.4 months will give me those many numbers of failure that will happen. That means those many number of machines. Those many number of machines will fail, and that will give me, if I multiply with the rupees, it will give me the cost. Okay? Now, we will do some other calculation. That is a type of distribution. The expected number of times it can happen, that distribution will find it out. How we'll do it? We'll take help of a table. In this table, we'll do it. And while doing that, we'll be following a particular equation. And that equation, this sum is there in the new book. Okay. But they have not explained it. How they have done it, they have not explained it. And don't be scared. We will be doing other sums also where this particular type of thing will be coming again. So it will be practice. What we are trying to do is that we are trying to find out the expected number of breakdown between the preventive maintenance interval, because he has given me the preventive maintenance frequency, number of months between the preventive maintenance service. If we go back to the earlier slide, number of months between the breakdown occurs. So I am giving him to be the preventive maintenance service, and it has a probability, right? It has a probability. Those P1, P2, this one is P1, P2. This is P1, P2, right? This is P1, this is P2, like that. Okay, number of machines is 50. Now we are trying to find out what? We are trying to find out the expected number of breakdown between the preventive maintenance. How we do it? We take a value of a formula. Now what is that formula? First one is called B1. We will write B1. Where is B1? B1. This one we will write with the formula of this. How to do this formula? This is N, capital N or small n, whatever you can think of. It is generally wrong printing. It will be either small n, because they have used this one as small n. Either you make the changes. So with this, the first one will be number of machine into the probability of 0.1 in that table. Will give you directly 5. That is my there. But you cannot calculate 8 like that. Why? Because we are doing it between the preventive maintenance interval. What are the expected breakdown? Between the preventive maintenance breakdown, that means I will be doing some preventive maintenance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Anyway, so these are some preventive maintenance. And that this between this time, what are the expected number of failures it can happen? That is coming to the 50 machine, 10% is the probability, so 5 has come here. On point number 2, the probability, it has to compass both the period. For point number 3, it will have to take all the 3 periods. So this one and this one and this one. Similarly, we will have to go ahead. What it is doing, see, when you follow the formula, it will strike your mind. For B1, when I am trying to find out B1, there is only one. Let me erase all this. There is only one place. When I am going for B2, there will be 2 terms. Don't jump into it. When I will be going for 3, there will be 3 terms. Correct? Okay? Now, how to do it easily or remember it easily? When I do it with N1, I am saying N1 number of times, like P1 in that case. So it will be N0 and P. Just one term I have said. So I am putting 10 into T. When it is 2 times, there will be 2 terms. You will write N and P, N and P. For N3, you will write NP 3 times. Like for N4, we should write NP plus NP plus NP plus 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? And then we'll start with 0, 1, 2, 3. And we'll start with 3, 2, 1, 0. You get the formula. Sorry, we'll start with 0, 1, 2, 3, and P will start with 4. Sorry, you're correct. I did the mistake. We'll start with 4. 4, 3, 2, and this will be 1. So this is a distribution of occurrence. So with this distribution occurrence, we'll calculate that. Now what is P1 and P2 and all three? Now let us come back. What we are doing is that when you open your this one, the first one is 0.1. I need actually a board. I don't have it. Anyway, just remember it is you have in your front you have 0.1, 0.5, 0.5, 0.1, 0.15, 15, 20, 21. Okay, up to this 20, up to 20. So what it is doing is that number of machine into first one that goes, that becomes 5. That becomes 5. For second place, first and the second, P1 plus P2 makes this one with number of machine, that is 50 into 10 into 10 plus 0.5, and then 5 with B1 P1. B1 I have already found out, and then P1 is that will come now. Sorry, this one. So it becomes 8. Like B3 will be like this, all three will come here, the topmost one, and then B2 with P1 or P2 that we know, and accordingly 5 with this one. So when you do it for B4, B5, B6 and B7, B8, you will get this calculations. Do it manually in your exercise at your spare time with the same principle. Thereby what we get? We get the expected number of breakdown between the preventive maintenance with no maintenance, with no maintenance. So this becomes total, this much is coming. This is the part. And then we multiply with the cost. Maintenance repairing cost of how much it was there? 100 rupees. So we multiply it with 100 rupees. And then we also cost per month for the preventive service. This is for breakdown, this is for preventive. That was 20 rupees, I believe. 20 rupees or yes. 20 rupees. So what we do? That 20 rupees we multiply for every month. How? This 20 rupees, and then the month is coming and divided by J. J, what is J? J is the in between the service. And thereby we get the cost per month of this. And the total is done. And there you will find that it is 1500, 900, 700. As soon as I am increasing, the value is going down. And after certain time, the value is again going up. These problems are done basically through graphical method, but as because it is in the syllabus, this is an illustration to you. And thereby, we will have to say that this is the time of choice, which for the expected frequency, what they ask for, which frequency, preventive maintenance frequency they should take. They should take 4 months to be the preventive maintenance. So they should take 4 months for the preventive medicine, right? So every 4 months. বুঝা নাই মই নিজে ভালকে বুঝাব পৰা নাই যেন লাগিছে হ্যাঁ টান নহয় বস্তুটো খালি কনসেপচুয়ালি বস্তুটো বুঝিব লাগে ওকে the rest is very easy so 669 rupees you have to spend and this amount is 257 per month less than what is this amount is 257 rupees less than 926 rupees expected cost without preventive medicine, which we found out here, right? This minus this value will be that much is less. This policy would reduce the cost by this much. If you find out the percent, 27.75% will reduce the cost. By doing that preventive maintenance at a frequency of 4 months, we can do this. Okay? But only trick here is this one. You need to find out how we are doing it. Again, let me repeat. First one goes with this. Second one, second time it goes with this and this. Third time it goes with this. Right? Fourth time it will go. All these 4 will be taken. And P1, P2, whatever I have said. So that will help you. We will do another sum like that and it will clarify your doubt or the usage of the formula. Spare parts management. Nothing much to say about spare parts management. There are 3 types of spare parts kept in the stock. And out of that, one will be fast moving, another will be slow moving parts. So fast moving, slow moving, and there will be one more as an insurance spare. Fast moving means स्टोर रूम में रहने का जायगा नहीं मिलेगा, आता है जाता है, जल्दी जल्दी निकल जाता है. So that is the first moving, and one is slow moving because that will add to my inventory, right? I am not talking about what is spare. There is a small definition of spare here, which I have used. ठीक है, कहीं पे definition लिखा था मैंने, आउट ऑफ द वे दिखा दे. The fast moving spares are those that are usually required, and slow moving spares are those that are hardly required. We understand that. So the managers come across in difficulties to keep the track of the spares, so you can determine the future demand manually. Now, for a manager, you think about, you are running a shop or workshop where your machines are running, and you have to ask that these many spares I want. So you will have to know how much the spares are consuming. How do you know that? From the manufacturer's recommendation, from the past history of the maintenance. So that means maintenance job, once done for a shop, the history has to go into the database. If it is not going into the database or it is not kept a proper record, then it is very difficult to find out. And then he can find out, okay, chalo, these are my spares, fast running spares. Again, depending on the fast running spares, if they are of high quality, then that can become a low spares. Anyway, all these things have happened. So the main objective of this one to create the database management system that will help the managers with the process of supervising the spare parts. The system should do the following to keep the track. First of all, keep the record of the spares, that is record for a particular type of maintenance. Now in the system, when an ERP system of maintenance or different other systems of maintenance, you have, let me tell you that one. You have a hierarchy chart. In the company, say there are 4 departments. In that 4 departments, there is one another hierarchy. This is equipment hierarchy, they call it. In that 4 department, there may be division of 3 major machines which requires maintenance and whose history has to be captured based on that. And those machines may have some assembly, rotor assembly, stator assembly, or bearing assembly, which are of genuine importance. Similarly, all these things will also have different. This way, the hierarchies are maintained, and every hierarchy node point at which you are going to consume the spare, because you will be definitely consuming the spare at the company level. But if you can divide it into that point, here you can have a list of spares, right? And as soon as some problem comes up, or you start maintaining the data about it, and you start recording the history, when it has failed, how it has been repaired, how long it has taken the time, who are the persons who are, for how many hours, all these things are recorded. Then next time when it happens, the system will pop up that these are the spares required, this many man hours required. If it is done on the daytime, this is the time. If it is done on the night time, this is the time. That means it will give you the feedback, and accordingly you can do the job. Thereby, what we will achieve is that the first time the job repairing might have taken 4 hours, next time it will take 3 hours, and slowly the downtime will come reduced. So thereby, this is the way the equipment master is maintained in any big organization where maintenance is done through a database backup. Anyway, so to keep the record. Keep the record of the spare parts received and used in the past. Schedule for coming major maintenance services. You need to schedule when I want to do it. Keep record of spare parts vendors, those who are going to supply it. Who are your vendors supplying you the spares? And forecast the future demand for the fast moving spares based on the not only past consumption and etc. is there, also depending on the recommendation of the manufacturer. So you can select. Nothing much. Next. There are some regular spares. Compare with your vehicle or this thing. Your fuel filter is a regular spare. Your fan belt for a vehicle or your motorcycle chain, that is not so frequent, but once upon a time you have to change it. So those are the regular spare parts required regularly and is in substantial number. Both reliability per unit cost of these items are less. Service level will be how much percentage that has to be found out. Where is the KU is the opportunity cost per unit, opportunity cost of the overstock per unit. So that way you can find out what is my inventory and how I am finding it. Insurance spares. Insurance spares is the name given to those spares that you will hold in your inventory, because you cannot, but you will not use it on a normal condition. Only emergency when it comes, and which will not be available readily. Immediately I will bring it, for lead time will be more than such time, but I cannot afford to initiate my purchase that time. So I have to hold it for that, and it is called that way, the insurance spare. Now in that insurance spare, it is not expected to use in the normal life of the plant and the equipment, but if not available, when needed, it will result in significant loss. It is not required, but still as a caution, it is such a critical item that if I could not keep it, I may have to totally forget the plant, but I have to keep that insurance spare. Now that has a provision in different companies that this type of spare will be definitely expensive, but say for a turbine by shaft, blades can be changed, but the shaft cannot be changed just like that. I have to keep a shaft or something like that, which may not be used during the lifetime of the machine. So that type of cost sometimes, as per the book of records and charter of accounts, is kept out of the inventory. And during the audit, there are questions why it is an insurance spare. It will be because you have not included into the inventory cost. So in your stock inventory, you are not including it, but you are keeping the stock. So that type of thing has a treatment. Then comes the capital spares. Capital spares are spare parts which, although acknowledged to have a long life or a small chance of failure, but would cause a long shutdown of the equipment because it would take a long time to get a replacement of them. That type of spares are capital spares. Forget about these things. कोई जरूरी नहीं है. जब जरूरत होगा तब देखा जाएगा. ठीक है? Routable spares. These are name of spares we are discussing. So regular spare we have understood. Insurance spare we have understood. Capital spares we have. Now routable spares. Routable spares items are generally of those items of plant or asset that periodically are changed out for repair or overhaul. Means, I'll tell you an example. The management of routable items and the repairable spare parts is different to the management of other inventory items, and proper control requires greater cooperation between the maintenance and the service. Say, we have three, say, machines, three turbine. Again, I'm coming back to the, or not turbine, let us go somewhere else. Enough of turbine. We have three machines, machine 1, machine 2, machine 3, say gas engine. They are also generating, say, 4 engines. These are gas engines, G1, G2, G3, and G4. What they are doing? They are taking gas, generating electricity. I will not say gas engine, like diesel engine. You can consider any engine. Now, the condition is, I will have to run 2 engines at a time to give me the supply. But they have kept 4 engines. So 2 at a time are working. Either these two, or these two, or these two, anything. Now the situation comes, this engine cannot be repaired in the site. Engine cannot be maintained or repairing or overhauling, some major repairing cannot be done at the site. It has to be transported back to some other place, means maybe another workshop or maybe to the manufacturer's site. So sometimes, and that has a frequency of say 7 to 10 years. Between 7 to 10 years, you have to send it. So you have to plan that also. So that will become a rotable spares. Which one? We do not know. Out of which, maybe out of 4, 1 is a rotable spare. So it will be rotated. It will go to the manufacturer site and get repaired, and then it will come. So for that purpose, if the dependency and reliability is such that you need to keep another machine, you will be increasing your capital cost. Or what to do? That time your managerial decision required, I'll hire one more genset. I'll keep it standing. It will take how many times? Maybe 1 year. So during 1 year, I'll hire someone to give me the backup if it is available in the market, and I'll run it. I'll calculate its cost benefit analysis, and I'll do that. So this is type of rotable space. Okay. Then with the example, it becomes a bit this. And the successful management of these items for more active, forget it, not required. Come, next, we do one sum. Okay. What is it? Compute the requirement of spares for breakdown maintenance of an item that exhibits a poison behavior of failure. You know what is Poissonian behavior? Then I'll skip this. I'll give you next time, because before that I have to tell you what is this. Any idea what is this? Poissonian behavior? No. It is not poison. Beef no hoy. It is a mathematical, statistical expression through which the behavior can be predicted. I was telling you, how many stars are there. Similar type of thing. So I have to give you that brief first. So we'll do this later on. Time is not there to give you that brief. So that is also a statistical one. Good. Next. Here we can do. The main shaft of an equipment has a very high reliability. Reliability is 99%. The equipment comes from Russia and has a high downtime cost associated with the failure. The exact example of a Boeing or the turbo engine, the way we are running it. Power generator, turbine. It comes like that. Has a high downtime cost. If it is down, it requires high time. This is estimated to be 2 crores as the cost of cell lost. Cell loss means power generation loss. 2 crores and other relevant costs. However, this spare is quoted at 10 lakhs at present. Spare are done 10 lakh rupees. Should the shaft spare be procured along with the equipment and kept it or not? That is the decision. So what is the problem? You have a very high cost, 10 lakh cost shaft in a machine, and that machine has a reliability rate of 99%. Now they are asking, if there is a failure, your cost will be very high, about 2 crores of rupees you will be losing when you want to bring it back between the time of when the machine is not available. So he is asking whether should we purchase along with the machine and keep it as an insurance spare or not, or capital spare or not. The expected cost of downtime is the probability of failure and the cost. Probability of failure is how much? Success is 99%. So 1 minus 99%, that is 1%, in the 12 is the 2 lakh rupees. Correct? Is my cost of downtime. And the cost of producing the spare, procuring the spare is now 10 lakhs. And my downtime cost is 2 lakhs. Depending on this one. Therefore, the expected cost of downtime is definitely less than the cost of spare. So we should, the spare, hence the spare need not to be bought along with the equipment. Manager has taken a decision depending on the reliability factor. Now, what is the problem with the reliability factor? Who has given the reliability factor? Manufacturer has given the reliability factor. So, while formulating the contract of purchase, you should have, or the manager should have said that your book or your specification is saying that you have a reliability factor of 99%. If it is less than that, you are going to pay for my loss. If he agrees, then what they will do? They will say, no, it is not this, it is 70%. Now you calculate. So like that, it goes in the market. Then we'll go to your page, I do not know, and there are a lot of sums there, we'll do. So tomorrow is Saturday, right? So we'll meet on Monday. And we will finish this exercise, and then we'll catch hold of, you suggest, you want to do the project management or the production planning, or you want to go to the strategic planning, strategic business, because for the purpose of examination, more fresh you are with the chapter number 4 and 6, it will be beneficial to you. If you, anyway, you will have to revise, but chapter number 8, 9, these two are there for the strategic, is not it? What I remember. 8, 9, 10. So these we can finish it up, and then we can take 4 and 6 at the last and finish it up. And that way we'll have to plan, because to my online viewer also, for chapter number 4 and 6, I expect that everybody should be present here physically. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to follow. If you can follow on the online, fine. But my suggestion will be to do it physical. That is why I am trying to delay it after I finish the full course, and then I start 4 and 6. So that will give us some time. By the time the pandemic may change, Tikakaron hoye jabo pare, I do not know. Tika lale hunkare hobo. Right. Okay. So tomorrow is off day for you from my class, and you will be looking into the sums, and then we will take it up this strategic management, and then last part we will complete with this one. Your class will continue up to what time? Up to which month? Mid of April. When is your exam? June. We'll finish it, no problem. March is full available. Okay, thank you. 4 and 6 are both tabular page. Table आकी पड़ेगी, ठक table. Okay then, bye. फिर card. Oh बाप रे, ये dangerous काम पड़ गया. ये online के लिए बहुत बड़ा problem. Bye.
Similar as our cardinal.
You guys, लेसो सप्लाई वाली एग्जांपल्स करेंगे. I need a book. यहीं से स्टार्ट करते हैं.
कौन से एग्जांपल से स्टार्ट है प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई आगे का सारे एग्जांपल्स तो These do not need discussion in the class, I guess. Example number 24 देखो 225 पेज नंबर 225 तो न्यू बुक ये नया वाला बुक है ना करंट बुक है तो आपके पास Mrs. Karina Limited incorporated in Mumbai and owns a godown in Chennai. Mr. M of Mumbai approached Mrs. Karina Limited of Mumbai for purchase of goods lying in godown at Chennai. Mr. M further informs that he does not want delivery of the goods in Mumbai. Mrs. Karina Limited issues invoice for the sale of goods in Mumbai. Find the place of supply of goods and levy of tax. क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे? Section 10(1) C. No movement of goods. Movement हो रहा है goods का वहां पे. मुंबई में incorporated है. Godown is in Chennai. The person who is buying is in Mumbai, but he does not want the good to move to Mumbai. He wants it to get delivered in Chennai itself. So is the movement of goods happening? No. What is the place of supply? Location of such goods. So US is Chennai. Doubt? समझ गया? किसी को डाउट? X Limited has place of business. Example 25. X Limited has place of business in Chennai. Being an NBFC, given an asset under financial lease to Messrs. ABC Limited of Chennai. X का बिजनेस प्लेस चेन्नई में है. X एक NBFC है. उसने अपना एक एसेट फाइनेंशियल लीज में ABC लिमिटेड को दिया जो भी चेन्नई में ही है. The said asset is so far used by ABC in their factory located at Hyderabad. Goods कहाँ चला गया? Hyderabad. At the end of the lease period, the said asset acquired by ABC Limited at a nominal amount. क्या हुआ? एक लीज टर्म था 10 to 15 years का, वो जब खत्म हुआ, सो जो नॉमिनल अमाउंट एक बचा हुआ था उसको देकर एबीसी ने एक्स से खरीद लिया. फाइंड द प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई ऑफ गुड्स एंड लेवी ऑफ जीएसटी. Is the asset moving out of Chennai? Where is it going? X Limited का प्लेस ऑफ बिजनेस कहाँ है? प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई क्या होगा? क्यों होगा हैदराबाद?
जहाँ पर एक्चुअली इंस्टॉलेशन
क्या इंस्टॉलेशन? ये इंस्टॉलेशन है क्या?
कुछ नहीं
एक्स लिमिटेड चेन्नई में है। एबीसी कहाँ पे है?
हैदराबाद
चेन्नई में है। एबीसी भी चेन्नई में है। एबीसी इससे कोई एसेट लीज पे लिया, पर ये एसेट कहाँ प्लेस्ड है? हैदराबाद से ये एसेट क्या चेन्नई मूव हुआ है? गुड्स का मूवमेंट है? नहीं है। So where the goods are located?
10-1
Clear? Example 25 कर रहे हैं हम लोग। क्वेश्चन पढ़ के कंफ्यूज मत हो जाना, ऐसे घुमाएंगे। Goods are still located in Hyderabad. अब ये तो लीजिंग ट्रांजैक्शन हुआ, समझो ये जो गुड्स हैदराबाद में था, इसको एबीसी ने सेकंड लेग में क्या किया? इसको पैसा दिया नॉमिनल अमाउंट, और ये वाला गुड्स को खरीद लिया। तो ये जो नॉमिनल अमाउंट का पेमेंट हुआ, इफ दिस ट्रांजैक्शन इज सब्जेक्ट टू जीएसटी, तो प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई क्या होगा? हैदराबाद ही होगा, बिकॉज गुड्स का लोकेशन चेंज नहीं हुआ है। अगर ये नॉमिनल अमाउंट देते वक्त इसमें एक और क्लॉज ऐड करता कि एक्स लिमिटेड को ये एसेट को चेन्नई ट्रांसफर करना है, देन इट वुड हैव बिकम एन पूरा कंफ्यूज कर देगा। Mr. D located in New Delhi places an order on Mr. Delhi of New Delhi for installation of air conditioned machine in his factory located in Chennai. Mr. D procures the indoor and outdoor units, set of plugs, electrical cables, etc. from different states in India and arranges for delivery in Chennai. The said machine is assembled by Mr. Delhi in Chennai. Find the place of supply of goods. Assembly installation.
Location of assembly.
Location of assembly.
10-1
You will get very good marks if you are able to refer to the section. अगर मार्क्स ज्यादा लाना है इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स में, तो हमेशा ट्राई करना जो इंपॉर्टेंट सेक्शंस हैं एटलीस्ट उसको मेमोराइज करने का, so that when you write an answer it should be presentable as per section 10(1)(c) of Business Act. When there is no movement of goods, the place of supply is the location of such goods. In the above example, the goods are not moving outside or there is no movement. Since the location of goods is in Chennai, the place of supply of goods will be Chennai. If you write this kind of answer, the examiner understands that you have read the subject very properly. So एक आंसर के बेसिस पे ना तुम्हारा एक इमेज बना लेता है एग्जामिनर So always attempt those answers which you are very confident कि ये तो गलत हो ही नहीं सकता. वहां से स्टार्ट करो. एग्जामिनर जब चेक करना स्टार्ट करेगा, he will see no this is standard material, so he will start looking in that way. तो पीछे जाके अगर थोड़ा इधर उधर भी होगा, he will give you good marks. ठीक है. Chennai Express train going from Chennai to Cochin. X Limited located in Cochin has supplied all the food which are given to passengers during night time. The food packets are loaded at Chennai Central Station. Find the place of supply of goods. Where the goods are taken on board. Irrespective of who the contractor is or where he is located. सेक्शन 10 को तुम लोगों को पढ़ाए थे क्या? सेक्शन 10 को नहीं पढ़ाए. ठीक है, यहाँ पे कवर कर लेते हैं. एग्जाम्पल से कवर करते हैं. मिस्टर एक्स लिमिटेड, एग्जाम्पल 29. Messrs X Limited has entered into agreement with Messrs Y Limited to maintain air conditioners. Messrs X Limited has air conditioners located in Telangana, Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. X Limited Y Limited को बोला कि आपको मेरा एयर कंडीशनर्स को मेंटेनेंस करना है. एयर कंडीशनर्स कहाँ पे प्लेस्ड हैं? तेलंगाना में और तमिलनाडु. Messrs Y Limited appointed a subcontractor. Y Limited क्या किया? एक सब कॉन्ट्रैक्टर अपॉइंट किया फॉर प्रोवाइडिंग मेंटेनेंस सर्विस इन तेलंगाना एंड तमिलनाडु. द मेंटेनेंस एंड रिपेयर वर्क अंडरटेकन बाय द सब कॉन्ट्रैक्टर. हु इज द सप्लायर ऑफ सर्विस इन द गिवन केस? भी आ जाओ सेक्शन 10(2) में. Location of supplier of service. Section 215 of IGST Act. Definition of location of supplier is divided into 4 subclauses. Supply is made from a place of business where registration is obtained. Location would be such place of business. If supply is made from a fixed establishment, location of such. Page number 228. 227 से स्टार्ट है लास्ट लाइन. लोकेशन ऑफ सप्लायर ऑफ सर्विस. 227 का लास्ट लाइन. चेंज है क्या? डिफरेंट है क्या पेज नंबर्स? मटेरियल अलग अलग है क्या? तुम्हारा नया है पुराना है? मटेरियल इज न्यू और ओल्ड? न्यू तो मैच होना चाहिए. 227 पेज नंबर है ना? तुम्हारा नहीं है तो पहले 227. अच्छा डिफरेंट है. Supply is made from fixed establishment. Such fixed establishment. Supply is made from more than one establishment. The location of establishment most directly concerned. Services received at other than above. The location of the usual place of residence of the supplier. बोलो अब ये पढ़ के कुछ समझ में आया? ये एग्जाम्पल तुमको प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई नहीं पूछ रहा है सप्लायर ऑफ सर्विस कौन है. See, when you subcontract, na, X entered into an agreement with Y Limited. X does not know कि Y Limited उस काम को कैसे करवा रहा है. Y Limited डायरेक्ट जाके करे, he can go directly and do, or he can give the work to n number of subcontractors. So the supplier of service will always be the primary जिसके साथ contract हुआ है. ठीक है?
Yes.
इमूवेबल प्रॉपर्टी लिंक सर्विस के लिए एग्जांपल सॉल्व करें. इसका तो हमेशा एक ही आंसर होगा. इट विल ऑलवेज बी द सेम वेयर द इमूवेबल प्रॉपर्टी इज लोकेटेड और intended to be located. Maybe let's do one. X Limited located in Chennai engaged the service of Y, an architect in Chennai. X request him to make design of residential complex to be constructed in Cochin, Kerala. Y provided drawing and design service in relation to immovable property. Find the place of supply. Place of supply will be Cochin, where the property is located. Place of supply by way of lodging accommodation. Mr. Rohit, registered person in Jaipur. He went to Kolkata and stays in Taj Hotel at Kolkata. ठीक है? जयपुर का है, कोलकाता जाके ताज होटल में रहा है. He also availed beauty treatment service at hotel. Find the place of supply of service and tax liability in the hands of Taj Hotel. क्या होता है? Where the services are actually performed. Taj Bengal will raise a bill on Mr. Rohit. IGST bill raise करेगा या CGST SGST? CGST SGST because Taj Bengal is in Kolkata. Events or performance of service is also in Kolkata, irrespective of where from Mr. Rohit belongs. Nawab, a person staying at Dubai, trained for the purpose of grooming of horses in Chennai. Find the place of supply of service. Grooming service, where the service is actually performed. ठीक है? Place of supply क्यों essential हो जाता है? Do not forget the context why we are reading place of supply. सिर्फ ये मत आइडेंटिफाई करो place of supply. Why are we studying place of supply? To determine what kind of tax liability we will face, whether IGST or CGST. If a person of a different state comes and performs a service in a different state, these services, तो place of supply से हम लोग को ये पता चलेगा कि नहीं उसी स्टेट का place of supply है तो it will be CGST SGST bill only, irrespective of where the person who is doing it coming from. Okay? Example 34. Mr. A, located at Kolkata, provides training at Kolkata to employees of Messrs. Infosys Limited, which is registered in Mumbai. Mr. A, located in Kolkata, provides training at Kolkata to employees of Infosys, which is registered in Mumbai. Find the place of service and GST liability in following cases. Infosys is registered person under GST.
Mr. A is not registered.
Mr. A is an unregistered person. An unregistered person is supplying a service. An unregistered person, can he raise GST invoice?
No, sir.
He cannot raise. If the training services as emphasized here is covered under reverse charge mechanism, then Infosys will have to remit the GST liability on that. We will not go into the question whether this service is whether covered or not in reverse charge mechanism. सब services reverse charge mechanism में covered नहीं होते हैं. Okay. Infosys is not registered person in GS in अगर दोनों अनरजिस्टर्ड पर्सन के बीच में ट्रांजैक्शन होता है तो क्वेश्चन ऑफ जीएसटी डज नॉट अराइज. एग्जांपल 35 गाइडलाइन एकेडमी रजिस्टर्ड पर्सन. बट तुम्हारे एग्जांपल में आंसर्स कुछ अलग-अलग सा दिया हुआ है. These answers they are very subjective answers which has been given in this example. ये आंसर्स तभी होगा कि अगर कोई रिवर्स चार्ज मैकेनिज्म है, ठीक है, प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई के हिसाब से whether determination of tax liability is a different thing. अगर प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई के हिसाब से बात करते हैं, फॉरगेट जीएसटी लगेगा नहीं लगेगा, ठीक है. अगर प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई के हिसाब से बात करते हैं, ट्रेनिंग कहाँ पे हुई? कोलकाता में हुई. अब जो मिस्टर ए ट्रेनिंग प्रोवाइड कर रहा है वो क्या रजिस्टर्ड है? वो नहीं है. यहाँ पे क्या बोला है ट्रेनिंग सर्विसेज में? B2B अगर है, see your example is so ill constructed. एक्ट सिंपल बोलता है अगर B2B प्रोविजन है, मतलब अगर एक ए लिमिटेड भी रजिस्टर्ड है और इन्फोसिस भी रजिस्टर्ड है, तो दिस इज अ B2B ट्रांजैक्शन. B2B में होगा तो लोकेशन ऑफ द रेसिपिएंट. इन्फोसिस का ऑफिस मुंबई में है, so the place of supply will become Mumbai. Your example is very, I will say, wrongly drafted because he is saying a Messrs A person A. Can a person be a registered person? He has to specify that कि both are registered. ठीक है. अभी नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है अगर B2C है, बिजनेस टू, तो एक्चुअल प्लेस ऑफ परफॉर्मेंस, तो जहां परफॉर्मेंस हो रहा है कोलकाता. तो अगर मिस्टर बी जो है, बी यहाँ पे बिजनेस कौन है? ये ए. एंड वो एग्जांपल में जैसे बोला इन्फोसिस इज नॉट रजिस्टर्ड इन द जीएसटी. The persons who are making this study material should do some आत्मचिंतन. ऐसा एग्जांपल नहीं बनाना चाहिए. So actual place of performance, इसीलिए तुमको लास्ट लाइन में लिखा है मिस्टर ए liable to pay CGST SGST because Mr. A is a registered person in Kolkata. He is providing the service in Kolkata. Place of supply will be Kolkata. Interest rate, so CGST SGST. Guideline Academy registered person provides commercial training and coaching service to budding CMAs. To all the budding CMAs. Many students who are unregistered person. इसमें कोई भी registered है क्या GST में? Anyone? सब unregistered. ठीक. From Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala come and stay in Chennai for the purpose of undergoing training in the Guideline Academy. तो बोलो ये क्या ट्रांजैक्शन हुआ? B2B या B2C? B2C हुआ. प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई क्या होगा? चेन्नई. यहाँ ट्रेनिंग हो रहा है. X Limited being a registered person located in Hyderabad hires Mr. Y who is located in Chennai for appraisal performance of senior employees of the company. X Limited हैदराबाद में है, Y चेन्नई में है, उसको बुलाया कि आप आइए मेरा सीनियर एम्प्लॉइज का अप्रेजल करिए. Mr. Y visits Hyderabad to evaluate the performance of the senior employees. Find the place of supply. B2B है, B2C है ट्रांजैक्शन. As per the example, it will be B2C because जो second person है वो unregistered. Place of supply क्या होगा? हैदराबाद. Because वो हैदराबाद में आके appraisal कर रहा है.
सर उसमें सर्विस तो मिस्टर वाई दे रहे हैं.
हाँ?
मिस्टर वाई
is providing the service.
ये सर्विस प्रोवाइडर है ये, लेकिन वो रजिस्टर्ड नहीं है.
Registered नहीं.
जो सर्विस
Y X Limited being a registered person located in Hyderabad hires Mr. Y.
तो सही है B2C C2B.
उसको ऐसे C2B नहीं पढ़ते हैं. It is read either way. It is read either way. B2C does not generally means B2C. It can be read either way. ट्रांजैक्शन इसलिए B2C B2B बोलते हैं कि लेग को आइडेंटिफाई किया जा सके कि ट्रांजैक्शन बिजनेस टू बिजनेस में हो रहा है या कंज्यूमर टू बिजनेस में हो रहा है. It can be from consumer to business also. It can be from business to consumer also. What would be the POS if some of the selected employees and relevant papers are sent to Chennai for evaluation where X Limited is unregistered person? If some of the selected employees and relevant papers जो है वो चला गया कहाँ? चेन्नई चला गया. X Limited को अब ये लोग अनरजिस्टर्ड कर दिया और Y Limited रजिस्टर्ड था क्या? Y Limited को हम लोग यही मान के चलेंगे कि रजिस्टर्ड नहीं था. यहाँ पे हिसाब से तो नहीं था, लेकिन C2C का केस यहाँ कवर्ड है क्या? C2C का तो केस कवर्ड नहीं है. क्या होगा? Either we treat Y Limited as registered, और अगर ट्रीट नहीं भी करते हैं तो it will always be the actual place of performance. वही होना चाहिए. ठीक है? Mr. Remo, located in Mumbai, well-known choreographer, being a judge, appraises the performance of participants in Dance Plus audition. कौन देखता है Dance Plus? He has gone to Bangalore for to appraise the performance of dance show competition of various participants. Remo कहाँ है? मुंबई में है. वो कहाँ गया है? बैंगलोर गया है to assess the performance. Dance Plus audition जो है ये क्या रजिस्टर्ड होगा? जो इसको कंपनी चलाता होगा डांस प्लस, तो कोई रजिस्टर्ड कंपनी होगा? क्या लगता है? रजिस्टर्ड पर्सन ही होगा ना. तो लेग कैसा है? B2C टाइप ट्रांजैक्शन है या C2B in your words? I will call it as B2C only. B2C है तो क्या होगा? बैंगलोर होगा. बोर्ड ऑफ कंट्रोल फॉर क्रिकेट इन इंडिया BCCI. IPL का ऑप्शन हो गया. कौन इंटरेस्टेड है IPL में? सचिन तेंदुलकर son is going to play the IPL this time. अर्जुन तेंदुलकर 20 lakhs में सेल हुआ है. मुंबई इंडियंस ने खरीदा. Who is the highest paid? क्रिस मॉरिस. कितना मिला उसको? IPL के हिस्ट्री में सबसे ज्यादा अमाउंट मिला है उसको, 16 crore rupees. Do you understand? 16 crore rupees to play a single season, and I think he will hardly play maybe 20 matches on max. 16 करोड़ को डिवाइड करो 20 से, पर मैच कितना है उसका? उसमें से 4 मैच में इंजरी होगा उसको, 4 मैच नहीं करेगा. सो हम लोग CA करके क्या करेंगे? जिंदगी में नहीं कमा पाएंगे हम लोग 16 करोड़ रुपीस. जस्ट हिसाब लगाओ. Say you become a CMA today, you got a job of annual package of say 20 लाख रुपीस. बहुत ज्यादा बोला हूं मैं.
एक मैच में 80 लाख रुपए. 80 लाख.
20 लाख तुम्हारा एनुअल पैकेज है. 16 करोड़ कमाने में कितना 1 crore is 100 lakhs. 1 करोड़ कमाने में 5 साल, 10 करोड़ कमाने में 50 साल, तब तक मर जाएंगे। 10 के लास्ट में क्या बचेगा हाथ में पता है? प्रोविडेंट फंड का पैसा, कुछ ना बचेगा। और अगर एक घर पे जाके पेरेंट्स को बोलना है जरा आज ऐसा बोल देते हैं, क्रिकेट ही खेलने देते हैं। एट आवर टाइम्स तो उतना पैसा था नहीं क्रिकेट में, ये तो बहुत पैसा है। एडवर्टाइजमेंट का पैसा तो अलग है। Do you know a story? Virat Kohli, when his father took him to Delhi, he is from Delhi ना? Delhi का जो स्टेट बोर्ड होता है, क्रिकेट कंट्रोल बोर्ड दिल्ली का, there he went because of Virat Kohli was a promising player. वो गया वहाँ पे उसका सिलेक्शन के लिए. The selection guys did not take him. They asked him for money. विराट कोहली के डैड ने मना कर दिया कि मैं पैसे नहीं दूंगा. He will do it on his own. You see today where Virat Kohli is, one of the highest paid sports person in the world. So work hard, work hard. That is the only solution. तो मेरी तरह यहाँ जीएसटी पड़ा होगा. इतना वर्क हार्ड करके भी. हाँ?
पहले आपके जैसा बंदा होगी तो
Don't keep me as a benchmark. Keep your benchmarks high. Mr. X, an event organizer located in Chennai, received an order from Taxman Publications, Mumbai, to conduct a book fair at Chennai. X event organizer है, उसका कहाँ है? लोकेशन चेन्नई में. टैक्समैन उसको एक ऑर्डर दिया है जो मुंबई में है. टैक्समैन to conduct a book fair at Chennai. Find the place of supply. Where the event is held. इसमें आएगा ये चेन्नई. Supply of services provided by way of admission to cultural, artistic, sporting, scientific, educational, entertainment event or amusement park or any other place and services ancillary thereto. Taxman registered है, होगा ही obviously. C को अगर हम लोग registered मानते हैं, if it is a B2B, location of the recipient. Who is the recipient? Taxman. Place of supply will be Mumbai. If any one person is unregistered, then location of the event will be the place of supply. This is for event linked services. हाँ, यहाँ पे mention नहीं किया है कि वो admission के लिए बोल रहा है या event linked के लिए बोल रहा है. Correct? Example में क्या लिखा है? नहीं लिखा है. So what answers they have given? Taxman Publication is a registered person. तो मुंबई में location of recipient of service. अगर taxman unregistered है तो चेन्नई, where the event is actually held. Clear? Getting a section का थोड़ा with the examples. Mr. Kapil Sharma, a Jalandhar-based comedian, hosted a comedy show at Singapore on birthday occasion of Mumbai-based actor's son. Kapil Sharma, who is based in Mumbai, went to Singapore for an event. वो इवेंट किसका था? सम एक्स का जो कहाँ रहता है? नहीं, वो जो होस्ट करवा रहा है मुंबई बेस्ड एक्टर्स सर्विस. क्या ऐसा कोई एक जन तो अनरजिस्टर्ड होगा इसमें, या तो कपिल शर्मा होगा या तो ये होगा. अगर लिखना होता तो लिखता बोथ आर रजिस्टर्ड. कोई भी एक अनरजिस्टर्ड है तो लोकेशन ऑफ
Event.
कोई भी एक अनरजिस्टर्ड है तो
Event.
लोकेशन ऑफ द इवेंट, वेयर इज द इवेंट हेल्ड?
Singapore.
सिंगापुर, सिंगापुर इज टैक्सेबल टेरिटरी। क्या बोला है आंसर में? अब बता,
B2B बनाइए।
इसको B2B बनाना। Standard of your examples in your study plan.
सर वो IGC लेवल टू पे है, अलेक्स डाउनलोड का नाम भी नहीं है।
नाम भी नहीं। So understand कि अगर B2B transaction है तो it will be the location of the recipient of service. अगर B2C है तो location of the event. Mr. C, D of Delhi being an event organizer hosted an exhibition at Mumbai to exhibit the products of exhibitor, namely Chennai Silks Chennai. Chennai Silks Chennai is a registered person, so it is becoming a B2C transaction. B2C हुआ तो location of the event. लेकिन यहाँ पे देखो क्या किया है, POS चेन्नई, इसका मतलब ये मान रहा है कि D of जो दिल्ली है वो भी रजिस्टर्ड। एग्जाम्पल में स्पेसिफाइड नहीं है। अगर स्पेसिफाई करके लिखता मिस्टर डी इज अ रजिस्टर्ड पर्सन अंडर जीएसटी एंड चेन्नई सिल्क्स इज आल्सो अ रजिस्टर्ड पर्सन अंडर जीएसटी, योर this is why I wanted to solve these examples with you, because you people will get confused while studying these examples at home, क्योंकि questions are very poorly drafted, so don't get confused. ठीक है? अगर B2B हुआ तो location of recipient of service, और B2C हुआ तो location of the event. So तुम लोग इसका आंसर्स पढ़ के अपने माथे में डिटरमाइन करना कि ये क्वेश्चन किस सोच से ड्राफ्ट किया गया है। एग्जाम्पल, you will have both the answers. Clear? Mr. C of Chennai being an event organizer hosted an exhibition at Dhaka to exhibit products of exhibitor. वही है, इसमें भी मान के चलो अगर B2B है तो recipient, B2C हुआ तो Dhaka, not liable to GST. So it will depend on what the example का drafter has in his mind. ठीक है? Kalyan Private Limited, event management company located in Chennai. Raj located in Jaipur hires the services of Kalyan Private Limited for organizing marriage function of his son in Taj Coromandel. Taj Coromandel is in Chennai. Mr. Raj is not a registered person. B2C. चेन्नई। ठीक है? अगर इसी एग्जांपल में दोनों अगर रजिस्टर्ड है तो लोकेशन ऑफ द रेसिपिएंट जयपुर क्या लग जाएगा, IGST, बिकॉज कल्याण प्राइवेट लिमिटेड इज इन चेन्नई। गेटिंग इट? The Royce Group being an event organization located, event organization में बहुत एग्जांपल हो गए। Royce Group being an event organization located at Delhi organized Miss India 2017. इस बार मिस इंडिया का रनर अप, have you heard news? News पढ़ा है? She is the daughter of an so the potential is unlimited. It depends on what you want to do. Your background does not identify of what you will do in the future. It is you who will draft your future. मुंबई का एक ऑटो ड्राइवर की बेटी, she is a runner up in Miss India pageant. सोचो मुंबई का एक ऑटो ड्राइवर कैसा घर में रहता होगा, चौल में रहता होगा। The chawl का ऐसा है तो anyone has visited a chawl in Mumbai? The room size is like this. I will take from here, say here. ठीक है? एक रूम, उसी में किचन, उसी में बेड, उसी में सब कुछ। एक बाथरूम अलग, कुछ कुछ जगह तो कॉमन बाथरूम। उस लोकेशन से एक लड़की मिस इंडिया की रनर अप बन गई। सेट हर एज एन एग्जांपल। बहुत लोग फिक्रिंग करते हैं कि नहीं मेरे को तो पढ़ाया नहीं, कोई गाइडेंस देने को नहीं था, ये सब बेकार बात है। माय सीनियर से दैट ये हम लोग को तो कोई नहीं बताया सीए पढ़ना है, तो ऐसे कौन बताएगा आपको? इट इज योर फ्यूचर, यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड इट। आप सीए में 3 साल में 4 साल में कंप्लीट करना चाहते हैं या घस-घस के 6 साल में कंप्लीट करना है? वो आपका प्रेरोगेटिव है, इज योर प्रेरोगेटिव। ठीक है, ऐसे बेकार में एग्जांपल्स नहीं देता हूं, हर एग्जांपल का कनेक्शन है, सब उन लोग के साथ ही कनेक्शन है। कहां थे हम लोग? मिस इंडिया। मिस इंडिया ब्यूटी पेजेंट इन इंडिया इन द फॉलोइंग सिटीज ऑफ फॉर मिसेस एएसके मिस इंडिया हु इज अ रजिस्टर्ड पर्सन लोकेटेड इन मुंबई। तो एक रॉयल्स ग्रुप है जो इवेंट ऑर्गेनाइजर है, न्यू दिल्ली में लोकेटेड है, वो ऑर्गेनाइज किया मिस इंडिया 2017 इन सिटीज में ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ एएसके मिस इंडिया हु इज अ रजिस्टर्ड पर्सन लोकेटेड इन मुंबई। न्यू दिल्ली में एक इवेंट हुआ, चेन्नई में हुआ, मुंबई में हुआ। फाइंड द प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई कॉन्ट्रैक्ट स्पेसिफाइज क्लियर डिटेल्स। क्या मतलब इसमें इनका? व्हाट इज क्लियर डिटेल्स? चलो ये हम लोग छोड़ के पहले देखते हैं कि ये क्वेश्चन हमारे एक्ट में कहां सेट हो रहा है। मिस इंडिया 2017 इवेंट है, इज एन इवेंट ना, इज एन इवेंट, तो इवेंट लिंक सर्विसेज ही है। तो अब इस एग्जांपल में इसको सेट करो, क्या सेट हो रहा है? यहाँ एक जन को बोल दिया है कि रजिस्टर्ड है, सो वी विल डीम दैट वन ऑफ द पर्सन इज अनरजिस्टर्ड। एज पर द एग्जांपल वी आर डीमिंग दैट रॉयल्स ग्रुप इज अनरजिस्टर्ड। If we deem that Roy's group is unregistered, what is the nature of transaction? B2C. Location of events यहाँ पे multiple है, multiple location का फीस location वाइज दे दिया है, तो हर एक multiple location का multiple place of supply है, and जो फीस उसको मिला है उसमें होगा। अब CGST SGST लगेगा नहीं लगेगा यहाँ से डिटरमाइन करो। लोकेशन ऑफ इवेंट क्या हो गया? स्टेट वाइज। रॉयल्स ग्रुप कहाँ है? न्यू दिल्ली में। सो अगर न्यू दिल्ली में इवेंट हुआ, रॉयल्स ग्रुप भी न्यू दिल्ली में है, तो व्हाट इनवॉइस विल रेज? जीएसटी एसजीएसटी। जो अलग अलग सिटीज में हुआ उसके लिए विल रेज आईजीएसटी इनवॉइस। क्लियर? यस। Place of supply if contract specifies lump sum amount. Find the place if contract specifies lump sum amount of 48 crores. पहले तो ये कर दिया, नेक्स्ट लाइन में बोला है कि हम तुमको 48 करोड़ लमसम दे रहे हैं, तुमको ये 4 स्टेट में इवेंट करना है। तो सर आईजीएसटी रूल्स वी स्टडीड वेयर वी डिवाइडेड द वैल्यू ऑफ सप्लाई इन अ रीजनेबल प्रोपोर्शन। हियर प्रोपोर्शन क्या होगा? नंबर ऑफ डेज, नंबर ऑफ डेज का रेशियो में उसका वैल्यू ऑफ सप्लाई 48 करोड़ का स्प्रेड हो जाएगा। टैक्सेशन तो सेम ही है बिकॉज़ प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई इज नॉट चेंजिंग, करेक्ट?
Yes.
Messrs. Navatha, a transporter registered under GST, located in Vijayawada. Anyone has heard Vijayawada? Vijayawada is a place in Andhra Pradesh. So इसीलिए तुमको जीएसटी का सॉल्व करने के लिए ज्योग्राफी भी पता होना होगा। See last class we got a question ना, she was asking sir कोयम्बटूर और चेन्नई में आईजीएसटी क्यों नहीं लग रहा? अब तुमको अगर पता नहीं है कि कोयम्बटूर भी चेन्नई में है, your answer will become wrong ना। You will presume Coimbatore तो सुना नहीं, चेन्नई में तो नहीं होगा, अलग स्टेट होगा यार तक. So की basic geographical information. ठीक है? अब किसी को ज्योग्राफी एकदम पता नहीं है, कोलंबो कभी सुना नहीं है, तो कोलंबो कोई जगह होगा इंडिया में. हाँ देखा, taxable territory, place of supply कोलंबो, IGST level. ठीक है? So back to the example, Navatha, a transporter registered located in Vijayawada. This is C Limited of Chennai, registered under GST. अभी देखो विजयवाड़ा तुम लोग को अभी मैं बता दिया आंध्र प्रदेश में है, यहाँ पे तो लिखा नहीं है, चेन्नई में मान लेता, पता नहीं है तो कंफ्यूजन रहता है ना, यहाँ है विजयवाड़ा इंटरस्टेट होगा, इसी में टाइम निकल जाए. So, Mr. C Limited of Chennai registered